This is an RNZ podcast.
Bonjour, mes amis, je m'appelle Ben Strang. Let us start today's Paris Essentials podcast by just having a moment of silence for all of the minions who fell during the Paris Olympics opening ceremony. Let's just have that moment of silence now. Alright, that'll do. If you didn't see the Olympic Games, yes, the minions were involved. They said ooh la la a lot, and they were in a submarine, which unfortunately the water came in and it didn't look like it was going to be a good ending for the minions. So rest in peace, the minions. The stars were out during the opening ceremony. Of course, we had Joe Allais and we had Aaron Gate on the New Zealand barge waving the flag for New Zealand, which was fantastic to see. But other stars were out. We had LeBron James and Coco Gauff with the United States flag. We had Giannis Antetokounmpo with Greece, Shane Lowry for Ireland. I just wanted to give a shout out to the flag bearer for Chinese Taipei. He was a breaking athlete called Quake, one of the B-boys. So good on Quake for holding the flag for Chinese Taipei. Hopefully he goes well over there. And a big shout out also to Ian Anderson from our rival media network Stuff, who says that in the Media Tribune today he saw Flavor Flav. Not sure why. Maybe he's the timekeeper. We'll hear about all of that from the opening ceremony and more. We're going to talk to Nathan Rarere about how the opening ceremony went down and how things are going in Paris, a wet Paris today. And we will also talk to Erin Ratliff, one of New Zealand's tennis stars. She's the world number one. She talks to Felicity Reid. So we'll be doing all of that and more. But let's start by hearing from Nathan Rarere, who was closely watching that opening ceremony. He talked with Saturday Morning's Susie Ferguson.
RNZ sports aficionado Nathan Rarere is in Paris, taking it all in. Kia ora, Nathan, how are you?
I'm really good. It couldn't have been a more French opening ceremony if it had have been a mime on stilts. You know what I mean? It's still going. You know, we haven't even got the flame lit yet. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious they're heading towards the Eiffel Tower for that, but. It's been an extravaganza, and it's been that real. This is my first time in Paris. I've never been here before, so I'm very new to the city and navigating my way around and stuff. But just from what I've seen of them, and I'm sure that many of our listeners would know the French well if they've been through there and stuff. Like, I just fully get it now. They've got this great way about them of, yeah, you could wear a shirt, but what about an awesome shirt? Like they like to go big on everything, and that's what they've done in this opening ceremony. And they've, it's Lady Gaga was pretty amazing. It was like a pink, much like the staircase that Marilyn Monroe came down, or Madonna came down in one of her videos too. But then with your classic sort of jazz dancing with the big sort of the big feathery things in front for her to be revealed out on. It was great. It was what I mean? Super French.
It does sound super French, and I guess now it's getting dark, which perhaps means it's making it look slightly better. From what I've seen, I mean, it's terrible weather, isn't it? This is not something the French would have been hoping for. It's
such a shame because, so there's been a lot of disruption around certain areas of Paris. So all of the reporters from around the world that are here, we've all got this amazing travel app, and it lets you know from your hotel to which of the events how long it's going to take, and generally it's around an hour and a half to get anywhere. But for me, as I'm heading into the middle of town, which is where New Zealand House is, where any New Zealanders can head along for free, or they just sign up and pop on in, and it's this thing. They've always got the New Zealand sports channels on, which I think a lot of the visitors are finding well. But the problem is that this app that gets you into the middle of the town, it doesn't know that, for example, the Champs-Élysées station was cut off, because of course they've been trying to stop some of the traffic through, because there's been a huge police operation going on. There's been a sort of a very heavy presence around a lot of the big important monuments in particular, And also too, they'd cut off areas like around the Seine. It was very hard to get down to the Seine. Today we went to Saint-Germain, and you couldn't get near to a lot of the landmarks there. But of course, what they've been doing is rehearsing for this opening ceremony. That's why it's been so hard like that to get through to. So, I mean, this, like you said in the intro, it's really risky. Normally they're walking around a 400-metre track, and you think that's not a lot to cover, whereas, they're covering miles doing this, and they've got, sometimes 5 teams on one boat, and of course the USA took up a whole boat by themselves, and it was pretty cool, to see Aaron Gate and Joe Allais, our flag bearers, up the front, which kind of leads to a little bit of extra comedy if you get to see it, the weirdness of having 2 people trying to hold one flagpole.
I always struggle with that, because you kind of, presumably they're quite heavy, and also you need to look like you're sharing, but at the same time that must be incredibly hard.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
if you are an Olympian, which I am not, you'll be surprised to hear.
And also too, I mean, the other bit about Olympians is you only get there if you're hyper competitive. So there's got to be someone going, I'm actually holding it at the angle that we need to be at. But
it's my flag.
It's my flag. But it was they had can dances. They had a Phantom of the Opera type thing in there as well. They came through for modern music like Daft Punk, and so it's been it's been fun. It's been a really fun sort of opening ceremony, although I think one of the problems was for some of the teams, their name of their country, the flag on the front of that was so big it blocked out half the team, and then it was like you could see the director went, move that back, because the next set of boats that came through, all of a sudden it was behind them. And then I felt really sorry. I think it was Luxembourg in particular. There's about 3 or 4 teams where And like I say, they haven't had much time to be rehearsing. It must have only been the last couple of days. They're all facing the wrong way, so we got to see the back of their smiling heads. And I thought those poor athletes to get to that. So hopefully there were photographers on the other side. But whoever told the director to do it that way was wrong. But I mean, right now I can see on the television here, there's the Eiffel Tower all lit up. It's got the Olympic rings on it. There's some lights coming out of it, and there's a handsome man making a speech. I don't know who that is.
Oh, well, it sounds like Paris is buzzing with all of this, although there will be some security jitters after the sabotage that's been going on across France. But this must be a bit of an anticlimax for some of the people in Team New Zealand, because it was a pretty rough day for the Sevens team yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was. That's a very. I think what it sort of shows too is how hyper competitive that men's sevens world circuit has become. There's and they can all do that to each other in knockout games. But what a shame for them. I mean, the Black Fern Sevens, I think they've had a better season. Australia were brilliant at the start of the women's season in the sevens, and you thought, oh no, they're going to run away with this. And then the Black Ferns came back and were really good in the back end of the season, so they're probably the form team heading into this Olympics. So they're the better shot for it. But yeah, huge disappointment. I was at New Zealand House when that happened, and there were a lot of people gathered, and then there was a lot of sad Kiwis that sort of walked out with their heads down on the way out there, because I think a lot of people were just very disappointed for them, and a lot of the athletes were still there because that was around the flag naming ceremony, and you could see in amongst them, because when I was talking before about how they're very competitive people, they understood how much that hurts to lose like that for those people. This is their moment, and which is why I think those smiles are very real when they're up on the dais. So the game's now really properly getting underway. What have we got in terms of people to keep our eyes on even later on today? Well, yeah, I think she's carrying the hopes really, and she's just an amazing young athlete. I think you're talking about the swimmer, Erica Fairweather. So that's the 400 metres freestyle. That's a heck of an event there as well. And in that case, you've actually got Erica competing properly with the top 3 women that swim in this. And one of those, Katie Ledecky, I've always felt she's my favourite athlete to watch compete. A lot of people like Simone Biles. I love watching Katie Ledecky.
Why do you like watching Katie Ledecky so much?
Oh, her freestyle is perfect. Like she's got this trick. I used to swim. She's got this trick where she can swim a length of a pool balancing a glass of milk on her head without spilling any.
Seriously?
And that shows like how strong is someone's back and how even are their shoulders and their balance and their stroke to be able to do that. And that's Katie Ledecky. So
I would watch that. if she would like to do that in the actual thing, I would watch that. Yeah,
it should be for extra points. But like she was the reigning queen for a long time because she just was so perfect and efficient with her stroke that she could keep that pace the whole way. But now Ariana Titmus, the Australians, come through, so Erica's right up for that. So that's a goodie. But also too, Emma Twigg rose today. That's before that. Like you get to see that in the same hour if you're following. And then also as well the equestrian start. So it's the dressage there, and that's Tim and Janelle Price and Clark Johnston will be riding in that as well. So it's the start, and it's quite often you get to see a lot of these sports once every 4 years, and you enjoy the heck out of them.
Absolutely. And there you are over in Paris having a wonderful time, surrounded by all of the gorgeousness that it has to offer. But I wonder if in fact you've drawn the short straw, Nathan, by not being on the cruise ship in the Pacific with the surfers.
Oh, I know.
There's no cardboard beds there, eh?
No, I spoke to Billy Stearman beforehand and I said, oh mate, I think, in an interview on First Up, I said, oh mate, I think you've got it right. And he goes, yeah. He said, well, we're going to be in Tahiti and then we compete, and then I get to come up to the Olympic Village and stay for the second week, so to be in the closing ceremony. But then when I saw that footage of that barge that they're staying on, or that giant ship, I suppose, I thought, that's great. That's again, see, very French. We could just have you there, or we could do that.
There you go. That was Nathan Rarere talking to Susie Ferguson on Saturday morning. And to be in Tahiti for the surfing. Wouldn't that be lovely? Serious FOMO I have for those who are covering it over there. Just so you know, RNZ, the bosses, I am still available to head over. Just give me a call. I'll go over to Tahiti. I know my way around. Anyway, let's now hear from Erica Dawson and Greta Pilkington in that order. They were on the boat heading along the Seine, and it sounds like they had a pretty good trip.
It was a very cool experience. Going along the river with the whole Kiwi team, and awesome. Awesome to see all the teams out there and everyone's opening ceremony outfits, and all the spectators on the side of the river.
Now you're rocking the poncho. Has that helped you, or are you drenched through? How was it?
I am drenched through, but the poncho, was a bit necessary, unfortunately, with the rain. But it's all part of the atmosphere.
Love it. And any favourite parts of the ceremony or the boat trip? What was cool?
Probably the Eiffel Tower. Seeing the Eiffel Tower with the rings lit up on it, that was really cool.
It was really good. It was really fun. It was cool to see everyone in their cool outfits, although we've now rocking the coolest outfit of the night. It was cool to see all the teams, all the supporters, Eiffel Tower. It was epic.
What a beautiful city, right? How amazing was it being on that boat?
It was pretty amazing. It looks pretty incredible in the rain on the water, so I can't even imagine what it would be like when it's nice and sunny, and we get to do a little bit more exploring.
And I guess you guys are used to the water being yachties, so not too bad. Are you drenched through, or how are you feeling?
I think I'm pretty drenched through. I wasn't rocking the poncho at first. I kind of was like, I'll brave through it, but I've submitted to it now, so but I am pretty wet.
And emotions as well, pretty special to be here at your first Olympic Games and at the opening ceremony.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Paris is such an incredible city, so I feel so lucky to be here, just with such an incredible team as well. So it's been pretty cool.
That was Erica Dawson and Greta Pilkington talking there. Audio provided by the NZOC. Thank you very much to the NZOC for that. Tonight we have plenty of sports getting underway. I'll give you a good breakdown of what to watch and when shortly. But first, let's hear from one of our tennis stars. Yesterday we heard from Sun Lolo, formerly known as Lulu's son. We've worked out the pronunciation of her name, which is fantastic. She corrected us. But she's pairing with Erin Routliffe, who is now the world's best doubles tennis player. She's been on a tear recently. She is playing with Sun Lolo and Michael Venus in Paris at Roland Garros, so a familiar venue. She caught up with Felicity Reid.
Congratulations on being world number one. What does that mean to you?
Oh, thank you so much. It means so much. It's a testament to all the years of hard work. I think, if you had told me last year at this time, I was losing first round Wimbledon and I was ranked I think maybe 30, 40. If you told me I would be world number one right now, I would tell you were insane. So it's it's crazy. It's something, I'm again, full, getting chills thinking about it, goosebumps. But it means everything. It's obviously, with doubles, Gabby and I want to be the number one team in the world, but being the number one player means a lot. So it definitely is really cool, and something I honestly didn't ever think that I could say about myself. So it's something I'll have forever.
You've made a habit of late of being quite a good doubles player with different partners. Like Lulu and you will be a relatively new partnership. You're, I guess, had a turning point when you teamed up with Gabby, but you've played with Coco and done well, played with Michael and done well. So what's the key to a good doubles partnership when it's relatively fresh?
Yeah, good question. I think doubles is all about getting the best out of yourself while simultaneously getting the best out of your partner. I try to always keep it pretty light. I think a lot of athletes were really intense, really focused all the time, which I obviously am focused, but I try to just, make it light and have a lot of jokes with them and just try to keep it, at the end of the day, it is a game. Obviously, it's everything to everybody, but to all these tennis players, but and I always try to keep an open line of communication to try and make them comfortable and feel like they can talk to me about anything no matter what it is, and so I don't know, I guess it's something I've definitely learned over the years is how important it is to be a good partner and let your partner have that space to express basically whatever they want. So I think that probably helps, and I'm smiling a lot on the court. I think that helps because it helps relax my partners. So.
And how is the partnership with you and Lulu going? You've obviously had a little bit of time practicing.
Yeah, it's going well. We are day 2 yesterday of practice, and then we'll play matches in another 2 days. So we still have 2 more days, which is a lot. In doubles, I feel like it's any time you can get on the court together is so important. I think every day is a little better. We're learning about each other, learning what we want to do, what we don't want to do, kind of what our identity as a team is, which is so important because when we step out onto the court, I think it's such a mental game that's going to be the most important, And we know we're going to bring the effort, we're going to bring the energy, and if we have our identity as a tennis pair, then that's probably ultimately will give us the best chance for success.
And clay court play, you'd probably play there. Is Roland Garros really the only clay court that you play on, or do you play on other ones? No, we play on, there's 3 lead-up tournaments to Roland Garros, so every year I play 6 weeks on clay. Okay. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on clay? I know some players like it, some perhaps not their preferred surface. Yeah, it's not my preferred, but I don't mind it. I think I've had success on clay, so I kind of feel like I can adapt my game to whatever surface, but yeah, definitely not my favorite. Lulu, growing up in Europe a little bit, clay is a huge thing here. A bit different for me. I kind of learned to play on it as an older teen when I started playing on it. Roland Garros is comfortable because we play there every single year. And it's very fast, which I like fast courts. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's not my ultimate favorite surface, but I can make do, so that's fine. You're at an Olympics after all, right? Exactly. And in terms of being at an Olympics as well, is it nice to be around a team, a broader team? Because in tennis you're probably with your own personal team normally, but this is a broader country team. Yeah. I'm lucky in the last year where we've, with me and Gabby, we have a team around us, so that's really nice, but definitely not as big as this, being in the house and having all these people around us that we're all supporting each other. It's pretty epic, and it's funny to see hockey, they have however many people they have, and they're huge and they're eating dinner all together, and we look at them and we're like, this is so bizarre because we grew up and we're just by ourselves, so it's really weird, but to be in that environment and to be able to be in it, it's definitely really cool. I definitely would, I played team sports as a kid, but I haven't been in it in 15 years. So, but I'm definitely learning a lot and honestly getting to know all the other athletes. I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously it's only day 3, so haven't met too many people. I met a lot of people, but haven't really got to know anybody. And you don't really know who half of them are, right? Well, that's the thing, is then you have to remember all these names, but I'm super excited to get to know them over the next week and a half, and to be on the bigger team, to be on the New Zealand team.
There you go. That is Erin Routliffe talking to Felicity Reid about the doubles tennis tournaments. And you'd have to think a pretty good chance. They've got a tough first-round match against Italy in the women's doubles. But Erin Routliffe, like I said before and you heard there, the world's best women's tennis player. It's not often we get to say that in New Zealand. So all the best to Erin Routliffe, to Sun Lolo and to Michael Venus in Paris. Hopefully they all go well. Now, most of the events, a lot of events kicking off tonight. I am going to run through them all so you don't miss anything. Hopefully I don't muck anything up or don't forget anything. That's the main thing, but you never know with so much happening now overnight. It all starts at 7 p.m. Let's go through the rowing. The men's single sculls heats, Tom McIntosh from 7 p.m. The women's single scull heats with Emma Twigg is at 8:12 p.m. This is all New Zealand time. Men's double scull heats, Robbie Manson and Jordan Perry from 9:30. The women's double scull heats with Brooke Francis and Lucy Spores at 10 p.m. In the equestrian, the eventing individual and team dressage, we've got Clark Johnston, Tim Price and Janelle Price starting at 7:30 p.m. In the swimming in the pool, the women's 100-metre butterfly heats with Hazel Owenhand at 9 p.m. The women's 400-metre freestyle heats with Erica Fairweather and Eve Thomas also start about 9 p.m. That's when the pool action gets underway. That's 11 a.m. local time in Paris. As we mentioned with Erin Ratliff and Sun Lolo, the women's doubles first round, they start at 10 p.m. Then tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, I don't know if anyone cares about this, but the rugby sevens, they're already knocked out, unfortunately. The All Black Sevens men, the best they can finish is 5th. They'll be on from about 12:30 a.m. and the men's 5th and 6th playoff, should they make it, is at 4:30 a.m. The gold medal match a little bit later, 5:45. Maybe Fiji will be involved in that, which would be fantastic. In the cycling, the road cycling, we've got the women's individual time trial, Kim Kadzo from 12:30 a.m. In the men's individual time trial, Lawrence Pithy will be on at 2:32 a.m. The canoe slalom, the women's K1 heats, Luca Jones has her first run at 2 a.m. and a second run at 4:10 a.m. She might be one of the favourites in the canoe slalom, so a real one to watch. The finals are the following day, Monday morning, around about the time that Morning Report's on, so something to watch there for sure. The men's hockey team, they get their first game underway against India at 3:30 a.m. The men's football team, also having come off a win against Guinea in the first round 2-1, they're up against the USA, who were thrashed by France 3-0 in their first game. Thierry Henry coaching the French. They're playing in Marseille at 5 a.m. And then we have the surfing. The surfing starts in Tahiti. Can't wait. The shortboard men first round heats, Billy Stearmond is at 5 a.m. The shortboard women first round heats, Safi Vet is on at 9:48 a.m. And then the swimming finals. Here's hoping for the swimming finals tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. The women's 100-metre butterfly semi-finals. Hazel Owenhand could be there. We will wait and see. That is at 6:30 a.m. The women's 400-metre freestyle final. Erica Fairweather, a big hope for New Zealand for our first medal. She is on at 6:55 a.m. Eve Thomas could also make that final. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we see Erica Fairweather do well in the heats and then make that final. 6:55 a.m. Set your alarms for Sunday morning, because that could be New Zealand's first medal, Erica Fairweather. Well, there you have it. As I say, make sure you set your alarm. Make sure you watch whatever tickles your fancy. It's going to be a busy couple of weeks from now on, with lots of events happening overnight, New Zealand time. I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. with another episode, hopefully a victorious episode with Erica Fairweather and perhaps Eve Thomas. Who knows? Hopefully they make a fantastic start in the pool and we see our first medal. We'll be back at 11 a.m. An episode dropping tous les jours during the Olympic Games every day. But until then, make sure you follow and listen to our podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, all the good places. Au revoir, à bientôt.